Hi guys, my name is Miles.
And my name is Fez.
And this is The Commodity, and today we are reacting to Port Arthur Massacre NBC Today coverage, April 29th, 1996. This video was requested to us by Tassie Gamer HD. We've actually been recommended by a few people to, not this video specifically, but to react to this subject.
Do you know anything about Port Arthur?
I do. I know that it's the reason why
Their gun control
they
laws.
have the gun control laws now.
I mean, I learned about it originally, I hate to admit it, was on a stand-up. Jim Jeffries talks about it. And I think you've heard that one too.
I have. Now, I don't know, because I'm not from Australia, how touchy of a subject this is.
Right. It's never good.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously we have these issues very, well, I wouldn't say very common, but it's pretty common, unfortunately, in the United States.
Not to this level. This, for a long time, had
level.
the largest number of fatalities.
Right.
I mean, I think we've beat it since. Not that we should be bragging about that.
Yeah, not at all.
But still.
But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure how much of a touchy subject this is, and I actually kind of contemplated actually doing this reaction or not.
Yeah, he asked me before, and I was like, yeah.
Just for the fact of, you know, I don't want to be inconsiderate of people and their opinions, because we're open to everybody's opinion. That's what this channel is about, is to share love and learn about different cultures. So.
But this is an opportunity to learn.
Yes, it is.
That's the main
because
focus.
I have not actually read into or
either have I. I'm not going to sit here and
learned
lie
about this story. So we'll go ahead and hop into this, guys. If you would, before we do, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. It truly helps us out in getting these videos out to more people. Also, if you would, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell notification icon. That way you guys can stay informed on our future videos. And if you'd like to help support the channel even more and get an exclusive YouTube short shout out, click the join button down below.
And let us know. So we're planning on traveling here in a couple months down to over to Malaysia. Let us know down in the comments if you're going to watch that content, even though it has nothing to do with Australia.
Yeah, we'd love to know if you guys would be interested in that type
because,
of content.
I mean, eventually we plan on getting to Oz, but right now our main focus is the country that really got us our start, which was Malaysia, the Philippines, Vietnam, but we do definitely want to go to
it's gonna happen 100%. Yeah, so let us know if travel content and stuff like that is something you'd be interested in watching. So.
And alongside, because we're not going to be able to travel 24/7, so alongside reactions as well, because I think this is like a great way to fill in the blanks.
Right.
So.
Good morning. On the island of Tasmania, the worst massacre
I didn't know it was on
history
Tasmania
is finally
Island.
over. At least 34 people were killed and 4 others critically wounded when a 29-year-old gunman with a history of mental problems opened fire in a popular tourist area. The carnage came to an end only this morning after the gunman caught fire following a 12-hour standoff with police. He's alive and in custody today, Monday, April the 29th, 1996.
See, I will say, in a lot of our instances, especially the ones that have known mental issues, usually end their life before they get caught
Or get
shot,
get killed. Yeah.
That's typically the case with us, is either they get shot or
Not with us, but with the country.
well, with the country.
Don't include us.
I don't
want
to be included in that. I'm sorry. Or they take their own life.
Yeah. I'd say anybody that does something like this has got
From
to be
NBC
mental.
News,
Yeah.
This is Today with Bryant Gumbel and Katie Couric, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning. Welcome to Today on this Monday morning. It seems only a month goes by these days before we have to report on a massacre of this sort. We had Scotland last month, and now this one coming from Australia. This one's terrible.
Really terrible. It must have been so frightening for all those tourists who were gathered, because apparently he came up with a surfboard and just started chatting with them, and then boom.
Wow.
Right, he just opened fire methodically,
Damn,
just walked around
that's
gunning
dirty.
around and took some others hostage. We're going to move to the news desk in just a little bit. News Desk. Good morning, start with Matt Lauer. Matt, good morning.
Brian and Katie, good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. In Australia, after a day of terror and death, a grim investigation continues today. A 29-year-old man is in custody, blamed for the deaths of nearly 3 dozen people.
Wow.
It happened on the island of Tasmania. That's off the southern coast of Australia. The backdrop was the resort community of Port Arthur. Details now from Rod Stephen of Australia's Channel 7.
The ruins of this guest house are all that remain of the gunman's final act of violence. He allegedly lit the blaze that engulfed his 3 hostages before he surrendered to police. Suffering from severe burns, he was taken by ambulance to Hobart Hospital. The 29-year-old man walked into one of Australia's earliest settlements on Sunday and began firing indiscriminately at dozens of men, women and children.
So I'm assuming he meant to take his own life. This is an assumption. I'm assuming he meant to take his own life by lighting the building on fire.
That's insane. That is like the worst way to go out.
Right.
I don't know, obviously, but that's like one of those fears, like drowning, burning to death. Like those are things that terrify me.
Yeah, well, I would think you would die from the pain before you would from actually getting burnt to death.
Well,
or you'd pass out from the pain.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually I've heard that you actually pass out from too much pain or too much smoke inhalation. Yeah. Because eventually it burns your nerve endings.
You heard the gunshots. Live action here at Port Arthur.
Are there police here?
Apparently there are police here.
Check the phone with us.
Karen Jones and Philip Wilburn survived to tell their story.
Could you hear the gunfire?
It was just like a cannon going off. We thought it was all part of the show.
The massacre at a major tourist attraction has shocked the nation. It had been a killing spree unparalleled in modern Australian history. Prime Minister John Howard has expressed his condolences to the relatives of the victims. The gunman remains in Hobart Hospital, where many of his victims are being treated. Rod Stephen for NBC News, Sydney, Australia.
Thanks, Brian. The worst massacre in Australian history ended this morning with more than 30 dead. Anne Fullwood is the late-night news host for Australia's Channel 7. She joins us now from Sydney. Miss Fullwood, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Katie.
I imagine that the country is in a state of shock right now. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think anywhere in the world with an event like this happening would be in a state of shock, and more especially Tasmania is a very small state of Australia. You probably know there are about 7 or 8 states in Australia, and Tasmania is a very quiet and peaceful community where tourists were going to Port Arthur, the scene of this massacre, and the nation's shocked by the fact that this has just happened in such a sleepy, quiet hollow. You know, you think of these massacres as... Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, tell us a little more about Port Arthur, where this actually took place.
See, that's another odd thing about it, is it happened at a tourist destination.
Well, they did it where they knew they were going to get the most victims.
Yeah, they were going to get the most victims. That's just, it's crazy.
Described as an international tourist destination, but many Australians go there as well?
Yes, indeed, and in fact, most of the people who were slaughtered at this scene were
That's a horrible
Australians.
Choice of words.
It is, as you can see on the map there, Port Arthur is a convict settlement. The irony of this is that this was about 150 years ago, a penal colony. Australia was settled as a convict settlement, you might remember in your history, but this Port Arthur convict settlement was about the worst, and the worst criminals were shipped from England to Port Arthur, the penal colony. So it has this history about it anyway, and now this has happened. So people go to reflect on what was a terrible and traumatic history, and now this.
Really ironic. Tell us what you know about this 29-year-old man.
Well, a loner. These things one can never rationalise. He has lived in the suburbs of Hobart, which is the capital of the state of Tasmania, not far. It's about 100 kilometres from Port Arthur. Lived alone. A painter, a guy who's a witness or who knew this man, talked on a couple of news stories that we had earlier today about how this fellow was a very unusual character. This man did some painting work at his house and said he mumbled things and felt very at risk and so on. And other people, friends of his, said that over the years he's been a loner and they felt that they had to look after him. He's also intellectually disabled.
All right.
So there's more news to come out on it, Katie.
Anne Fullwood in Sydney. Anne, thank you very, very much.
Yeah, that's sad.
Coming up on 7:15 now, here's Brian.
26 past the hour. We were talking about Katie's guest earlier from Australia. And I was interested in one thing when she was talking about what this guy was and who had said what about him. Because I was reading the article this morning. I was surprised to learn, good law actually, that under Australia's very strict laws, the media is not allowed to report anything about his background until the trial is underway. So I was surprised to hear her sitting there talking about he used to be this and one person said this about him, etc.
Maybe because it's to the States and not being broadcast in Australia.
I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's a great law.
It's about taking photos of
He kind of just fronted that reporter as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're on Channel 7.
You're right.
Early in the morning. I was just curious whether or not that didn't.
So you're wondering if she's going to get in trouble?
Well, no. I mean, I don't know how the law is enforced or what applies and what doesn't. I mean, she must know the guidelines.
Yeah.
And yet she seemed to have no problem saying what she did to you.
Called her
and
out.
yet what I read is pretty clear. I mean, it said under Australia's strict guidelines, the media may not report any information about his background until his trial is underway.
You know, there are a lot of countries with stricter laws in the United States. For example,
Canada's got them too.
It's got a very strict law about that. And remember when there was some murder trial
She's
that they
trying
had
to
to
change
black
the
out the
subject
station
now.
Yeah.
in New York
She's like,
that could be received
he's
by
really
the
adamant
audience
about
and,
getting on that reporter.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I was just surprised to hear her doing that. I didn't think she could.
Supposedly it was just an incredibly grisly scene. I mean, you know, a lot of children.
Like, screw his
rights
at that
It
point.
was terrible.
Yeah.
Not good. And the toll may rise too, because there were 4 critically injured.
One person who's
There's
missing
one
in that
person
cottage.
still missing, right? Presumed dead.
Yeah, there were 3 hostages in the cottage when he set it on fire, and they found 2 bodies. So.
Man.
That's terrible.
Like, and kind of screw the middle guy's opinion. Like, that's not even the subject right now.
Right, but he was just. I think he was just. I don't know. I
there
mean,
was
I
no
get
reason to bring that up like that.
Right, it does
like,
nothing for this story.
All you're doing is either
You're
fronting her
belittling
out
her.
and calling her out, and putting her job on the line.
You know what? It could have came from up top. Like, hey, we didn't make her do that. She did it on her own volition. So maybe like the managers said to bring that up so that. Because it might not be coming from him. It could be coming from somebody else. Like, hey, let them know that we know the law and we abided by it. She messed it up.
Yeah. I don't know.
But at the same time, he might be so... it's so obvious that what he did that the trial is irrelevant as far as, like, telling about his back.
Right.
To the point where it's like, this guy's screwed. He's going to either die or he's going to... You know, he's going to rot in jail or whatever the case may be. So she probably was like, I don't really care. Nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody cares about this guy's well-being or rights or whatever. Because at that point, you know, there's like a special place under hell for somebody like that.
Yeah.
You know,
it's super unfortunate. I couldn't imagine going through... a traumatic experience like that. I couldn't imagine having a family member go through a traumatic experience like that.
No. And there's so many hate crimes that are based off of stuff like this. Like, at least I say that. I don't mean it like that. That sounds horrible. It doesn't sound like he did it based off of like race, gender.
He just did it to do it.
Yeah. Whereas some people do it just for racial or what you consider yourself being gay. Like, there's been gay clubs and bars that have been hit here in the U.S. So.
I don't remember, was it Vegas where that massacre was? The guy was propped up in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Eminem made a song about it.
Yeah.
Kind of like him. No, but like, it's a mystery to this day why he did it.
Yeah. No, a lot of those places,
everybody said that.
Because he committed suicide, right?
He committed suicide. Everybody said that he was a normal person. Like, these people said he was a normal person. Like they would never have thought twice about him being a good person, and just out of nowhere
doing what he did,
snapped and killed.
You never know what's going on with people. The best thing you can do as a friend is just try to reach out and say, hey, if you ever need to talk to somebody, because it could be your best friend.
Yeah.
You just don't know what's going on in their life. And whether or not they're at that point, but they might take their own life or whatever. And I've always told people, because I deal with anxiety, and I got good friends that deal with depression and anxiety and those kind of things. And I'm always like, look, if you ever need to talk to anybody, just give me a call.
Right.
I'm here for you no matter what. I tell everybody that I truly, truly care about that I love them. I tell you every second that every time you leave or we get off the phone, we always say we love each other. I have friends that I have at work, actually my former job, but I'm like, I know he deals with PTSD. I know he deals with a lot of things. I won't say his name, but I've always told him, and he's told me the same because he knows how I deal with my anxiety. He's seen me have a breakdown, and he was like, dude, if you ever need to talk to anybody, I'm always here for you. And same for him. I've told him and a number of people that it's like, look, if you just need somebody to talk to, if you need to come stay the night, if you need a hug, if you need anything, reach out to me. I don't want to lose you in my life, you know.
Right.
A lot of soldiers, there's military everywhere that's dealt with the post 9/11 stuff, and a lot of that has really messed with people's minds. Seeing people die, it's just stuff that you should never have to see as a normal person, especially if you've had like hard life with seeing your, like he actually, not putting his name or anything like that, he was actually there when his mom passed, and it was hard.
Yeah.
And actually 2 of my friends, both of them saw them as their mom passed. And I was like, if you ever need to talk, I'm here for you. So hug your loved ones. Tell them how much they mean to you. Let them know that if they ever need to talk. I know it sounds cheesy, but like my toughest friends, we have the most deep conversations.
I don't have deep conversations with you.
Because you're not tough.
That's fine.
We've had very deep conversations.
It's unfortunate too, like I feel like I say kids, but it's not just kids now, like take advantage of the fear that events like this have put into people. I want to say just in the past, since January, I get notifications on my phone from the Fox app or something. They've shut down probably 6 schools over the past month with bomb threats and gun threats. And it's
we used to have bomb threats in school. It's just to get out of school.
But it's like a once a week kind of thing, talking about there's a hit list and all this kind of stuff. And it's like that kid that went and shot up the school, and he had took the gun from his parents or something, and his parents knew he had the gun. And
the one that they bought for his like 15th birthday or something like that, 16th birthday. Yeah, that was.
And the parents knew that he had it and had issues.
Yeah, they gave it to him.
Right.
Yeah, they bought it, gave it to him, and they're getting charged as if they killed him.
Well, apparently the mother knew like what he was thinking about doing. It was like, please don't do this. Like, you don't.
Oh yeah, they found it through like text messages and stuff. Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's
so
ridiculous.
Stupid.
That's what.
Like, and I'm a gun person, quote unquote.
I mean, we both own guns.
But like, I don't even let my kids play with toy guns. Right. Like, I've made it a very like it's a rule in both me and my ex's house. They don't get to play with toy guns. Period. Yeah. Because the second, whether or not we have guns, somebody's friend might have a gun.
Right.
Like, one of his friends might have a gun, and I want him to know that it's not okay to pick it up.
Guns aren't toys.
Yeah, period. And I mean, even when I have my guns and I go and shoot them, I'm always paranoid and scared of them. Right. And I've always felt that that's the right way to treat them.
Right.
Because you can do something on accident. So my great-grandfather actually shot his own foot off with a shotgun that I currently own. In fact, he used it during World War II.
Did he shoot his foot off in World War II? Or
no, after. He was cleaning, didn't realize it was loaded. When he was done, he had it upside down, the barrel on his foot. Like, let me put it this way.
That's got to be depressing. You come out of World War II with not a scratch on you, and then you shoot your foot off.
I'm going to be upfront and honest, and I love my mom, and I'm pretty sure she's aware. That side of a lot of our family isn't the most intelligent, for sure. But my great-grandfather was definitely, like, my grandfather that I like, he, outside of my parents, He was probably one of my biggest idols, my grandfather. But based off of his intelligent level, I can only assume that my great grandfather was not the brightest nail or the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Yeah.
Like he was, I mean, we're talking redneck from the late 1800s, early 1900s, and he shot his own foot. You want to talk about stupid? He made his own wooden leg too.
Wow.
Yeah, talk about stupidity and ingenuity.
Hillbilly.
Yeah, that's country stuff. But guys, I know this is a horrible video. It's very educational. I'm glad I actually learned a little bit more about it. These things do intrigue me in a psychotic way.
They intrigue me.
It doesn't intrigue you?
No, it does.
No, yeah. It's just like serial killers and what's it called? Cold cases, those kind of things. They intrigue people in different ways and different reasons. It does kind of put me on edge because of my anxiety. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see our future videos, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. And if you want to support us directly, hit the join button. And with that being said,
my name is Miles.
And my name is Fez.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.
Out.